Hello and welcome to Plot Twisters.
This is a podcast where we take movies and twist the plot to see if we can make them better, and if not, more friendly.
At the moment, we're talking about teen movies from the noughties.
On this episode, Just Friends from 2005.
I'm Anders, and I love salmon. It's the prettiest color for bedrooms.
I'm Emma. Be yourself, be yourself, be yourself. Just be yourself.
I think more people need to acknowledge that, or the opposite, be somebody else.
If being yourself doesn't work, have you tried being somebody else?
Hey, I know you've been yourself for quite some time, and let's be honest, it's working out so-so at best. Have you tried being different?
Imagine if there was a Disney film and the core of the message was, you suck. Be different. Be yourself is all very well, but that is based on the precedent that what yourself is good. So what if who you are is bad? What if you're not a nice person?
It's like remember in Dumbo when they were all like, Dumbo, you need your ears to be smaller because it's not an asset to you, and then he had the ears made smaller. I
feel that. I see his struggle. That sucks.
Yeah, but
however, his ears were really big.
And after he looked fabulous. He did look great, actually, when they were a bit smaller. Do you remember when Pinocchio and they were all like, hey, you should be a real boy? And then Pinocchio was like, actually, I want to stay wood. And he stayed wood the whole time. Geppetto was super upset.
Hey, Pinocchio, be yourself. Wait a minute. Yeah. Who yourself is a liar.
Yeah.
So should he be a liar?
Yeah. Nobody likes liars. They're the worst. And they don't even and you can't even trust them. And also, sometimes they are mean.
Yeah. Often,
right?
I've heard, actually.
Also, but side note, you remember the time in Pinocchio where they went to that weird island where every kid turns into a donkey,
Oh,
just before that happened, that island was pretty awesome.
Be yourself, and if you can't be yourself, be a donkey child.
Exactly.
Welcome, listeners, to our sound effect, please, Anders.
It's Christmas time, burning out the wine.
Christmas
Uncle
episode.
Jim's got his favourite jumper. Is that what you want?
Yeah. Welcome to our Christmas episode. This is our holiday special, and based on previous episodes' experience, what that essentially means is that we give ourselves special permission to kind of ramble.
Do whatever we want. Hey, if you came here for a linear through lines, right? If you came here for I expect the same as last time, right? It's not going to happen. Life is
fleeting.
Totally. And also different every day. And also, you know what life is? It's like you take your handful of jacks and you remember the game Jacks? From the olden days, the Victorian game Jack. Did you ever play the Victorian game Jacks? You got a bunch of jacks, throw them on the ground, bounce a rubber ball.
I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't spend a huge amount of time in the Victorian era myself.
Me neither.
So,
but I have a semblance. All right. It's like a Jackson.
Mate,
painting.
Victorian Jack. Everybody knows Victorian
up.
Jack. All right, mate, it's me, Victorian Jack. Please, can I have some more, sir?
Jokes aside, my mate, Victorian Jack, super nice guy. He's a really nice guy.
That's not what I've heard.
You may
I've heard some terrible things.
Look, he's doing his best. Okay? What I'm saying is life is sporadic. You throw it down, pick it up, every time it's different. It's like a ink blot. Life is like an ink blot. You know what I mean, people? They get me. People get me.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
How mixed do you think you can make a mixed metaphor? Like, if somebody said to you, I want you to mix a metaphor, the most that a metaphor has ever been mixed.
Sure.
How mixed could your metaphor be?
Well, I would start by saying, look, life is a bit like a game of baseball, right? You got to pour the water all the way to the top of the jug to see which side of the coin you're going to fall on. And you know what they say? When a gopher looks around and he can't see any of the trees, that's when you know it's baseball time.
Yeah.
Huh? Brought it back around.
And when the sun rises in the morning
the
and the arrow of time shoots across the sky, that's when the bubbles really start rising.
What's better, to have your cake?
And the potion does its work.
Bubbles.
And Father Time says, good morning to us all.
When it does, you know that it's actually midnight. And when it's midnight, you know the cats are going to come out to eat the mice. And the mice are eating the cheese. And the cheese has gone rotten. So the rotten cheese tells you that the farmer has left his post. And the post is in the ground. And the ground is where Mother Earth is formed. So who's really...
Now, there's something I'd like us all to draw our attention to. This is our Christmas episode.
Apparently.
This is our Christmas episode.
Uh-huh.
And we are several minutes in.
Yes.
You just used the word mice and cheese in a sentence and didn't make a reference to
No Jesus for us.
the film The Muppets Christmas Carol. So my question to you is...
Yeah.
What's wrong? Are you okay? Do we need to talk about it?
The only warmth he ever had. I haven't watched that movie yet.
Even the vegetables don't like him.
No,
this is the thing.
For us,
we know this now. In the lore of this podcast is that we have a couple of cornerstone films, seminal films, that we come back to at every point.
Muppets Christmas Carol.
Normally one of them gets mentioned. Back to the Future. Twilight now is kind of one of them.
This is one of them. Better or for worse.
And we come back to these films and we talk about them all the time. And so I'm just worried.
Dude, I just haven't watched it yet. The only Christmas movie I've watched this year so far is Die Hard, and that one doesn't even count, in my opinion. It's a movie set. It's a movie set at Christmas. What have you watched so far? Give me the rundown. What do you got?
I watched a new one.
Oh, so did I actually.
Oh, what was yours?
The one with well, I've watched 2 Ryan Reynolds movies this week. I'll tell you that for free.
Nice. Was it Spirited?
Enchanted? Enscanted? Spirited? We watched that. Spirited.
Yeah. How was it?
And it was really good. I really liked it.
Cool. I watched, I think it's called Office Christmas Party. And it has Jennifer Aniston in it. It has Jason Bateman.
What's
and it's
it from
about
Arrested Development?
Yeah, her off of Friends and him off of Arrested Development.
Wait, you mean
and
both of them off of the Meet the
Kate
Millers?
McKinnon off of Saturday Night Live and Ghostbusters. And it's about an office it's about a workplace where they need to save their company by throwing the best Christmas party ever. And it was actually pretty funny.
Nice.
So, Office Christmas Party, that's a recommendation.
All right.
I watched Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. Because I only actually ever seen that one once before, so I thought I'd better watch this one again because I know...
Credit card?
It's kind of spicy.
You got it.
And then I, of course, watched the fantastic 2005 movie Just Friends, which, believe it or not, we are actually here to talk about today.
And that's where by the moon and the stars and the sky, I'll be there. I'll be there
for better or worse till death do us part.
Love you with every beat of my heart. And I swear.
Every time I hear that song, I think about this film. Every time.
Ryan Reynolds is like mesmerizing face singing that
mesmerizing.
song.
I'm going to give a very short recap.
Cool beans.
Because I just can't be bothered. I can't be. This is Christmas.
Come on, dude. Like, you know that thing where it's like a week before Christmas or whatever, and people are all like phoning it in, you know? I'm not saying that's what we're doing. What I'm saying is, give us a break.
We could do it.
Let me get my phone.
Ryan Reynolds is in this movie, and I just want to go ahead and say, when I was a teenager, it was a thing to say, who's your favourite Ryan? And there were 2 correct answers.
What?
Who's your favourite Ryan? There were 2 correct answers. The cool answer was to say Ryan Gosling.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
The less cool answer was to say Reynolds. I always said Reynolds
yeah,
because I have been a Ryan Reynolds stan since day one, baby.
Yeah.
I like Gosling. He's great.
Sure.
Drive is fine.
Sure.
Ryan Reynolds all the way for me.
I was always a Ryan Felipe fan, but you know, that's me.
But this is the thing though, and I don't need to ask you this, but because I know you have seen it, but the TV show Welcome to Wrexham.
Dude, it's so good.
Which is great, and you should all watch it.
It's so good.
Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia and Mythic Quest, they buy Wrexham Football Club in Wales. And they made a documentary, and it's called Welcome to Wrexham, and it's absolutely wonderful. It's very heartwarming. It's very good vibes. And a really interesting side effect of it is that you see Ryan Reynolds in context next to regular people, because obviously when he's in movies he's with other movie stars, and it's like, this is a good looking guy, he's cool, yeah, we get, like, fine. Ryan Reynolds next to normal average humans, people, specifically from North Wales as well, but also not even just that, like just he's just around people. He's a god.
He's a beefcake.
He's
a
beautiful.
Beefcake.
He's charming. He's tall. He's tan. He's just
I know.
On
he's
another
the whole
level.
package. I want to squeeze.
He is a movie star. Like, he's a movie star. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I do.
Yeah. The more we were watching Ryan, we were watching Ryan on Welcome to Wrexham. Both me and my partner were falling deeper and deeper in love with him. And then it was nice because I got to watch this film, which he's also in.
Totally. What a perfect time for that.
What a perfect time for us all. He plays Chris Brander. Chris Brander is in a bigger body as a young man. And I will say, unfortunately, that is played for laughs. And we don't like that. We don't like fat phobia. However, I also say I feel like maybe this movie gets a little bit of a pass for me just because I really like it. And I know that's naughty. But also, everyone should have maybe 1 or 2 movies that they're allowed to give a pass to. Yeah. But we don't like that. There's also some bad words that we don't like. But we don't like the fat phobia. But he's in a bigger body. And he is best friends with Jamie Palomino, played by Amy Smart. Yep. They're besties. Longtime besties. They go to high school together. And Chris is in love with Jamie and wants to be more than friends with her. She, however, wants to be
just friends. Like the name of the movie.
Yeah. And he writes in her yearbook a lovely message saying, I want to be more than friends. But she never gets that message because one of the jocks reads it out to the room of this house party that they're in. By the way, they're in a house party. They all laugh at him. It's very traumatic. He moves away, goes to Hollywood to escape, works out, gets ripped, and then becomes like a music manager or something,
something like that,
label executive or something like that. He's working with Samantha James, played by Anna Faris, who is a terrible pop star. They're working on...
But great as a terrible pop. Like, great.
Amazing. Right? Amazing. Oscars, please. She also has a very provocative, succeful poster.
Forgiveness is all that saying sorry. That's a great song. It was great.
Time. And she is they're getting on a flight together to Paris. The plane has to go down because of a snowstorm or something, and they end up in Chris Brander's.
Sorry. It's because she puts tuna wrapped in foil in a microwave and the
that's it. Yeah, she blows up the microwave. Yeah. They end up near Chris Brander's hometown. He goes back to his hometown. He stays with his mum, who is played by the woman from Airplane, and then he is reunited with Jamie Palomino. A series of comedy events ensue whilst he's trying to impress Jamie, when all he needs to do is just be himself. He has competition for Jamie's heart in the form of Dusty Dinkelman, played by Chris Klein off of American Pie. And eventually he realizes that he just needs to be himself, tell her how he feels, speak from his heart, take her on a date, and then it'll all be fine. And then it is. And that's just friends.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go.
Dude, you know the new Christmas movie that I just watched, which is called Enchanted, right? Is it called
Enchanted?
Enchanted? Spirited? It's
Why is your memory so bad?
I don't know, because look, my
I told you 10 minutes ago the name of the movie.
Hey, first of all, my mind is like a grocery bag that's like stuffed to the brim. Okay, I can't even fit a small vial of saffron in there. Okay, I got a 1 in 1 out policy.
It's a
in my
fancy
brain.
herb.
Well, I'm a fancy guy.
Are you buying saffron when you go to the supermarket? Who's buying saffron?
People who want to show off their goods. People who want to feel like a big man. I don't know. People who want orange rice.
Oh, okay.
My brain, I can only handle so much. All right, but whatever that movie is, right? It has Ryan Reynolds in it. Okay,
love him,
and I have to. So do I. Right. And Will Ferrell. And I have to tell you that Ryan Reynolds in this movie that came out this year plays the same character that he plays in the 2005 movie Just Friends.
Hey, if it works.
I feel like in canon it's the next movie, okay? It's sexy, cool, fun Ryan Reynolds who's kind of a bad guy but wants to be a good guy but doesn't know it, until the Ghost of Christmas Present or Past, aka that girl that he used to like back in New Jersey comes along. It just felt weird to me. It's weird to me that the last couple of weeks, I feel like Ryan Reynolds is just coming at me strong in all the content that I'm watching. I'm feeling a little bit of a Reynolds overload, right?
A Reynolds-sence.
It's a real Reynolds-sence, right? It's Ryan Reynolds-sence. I feel like there's a hurricane coming, and the hurricane is Ryan Reynolds. Anyway, my point is... Did
you see that Shania Twain sang when he was there, and instead of saying, hey, so I think is it Tom Cruise that she originally... No, Brad Pitt. She says, so you're Brad Pitt. That don't impress me much. But he was in the audience, so she goes, hey, so you're Ryan Reynolds. That don't impress me. And the camera cuts to Ryan Reynolds, and he's like, who, me?
He's like, whoa. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I like that.
That's pretty fun. I just felt like, this week I feel like everything I turn on the TV, it's Ryan Reynolds, which I love. And I watched this movie, and I have to tell you, I watched this movie when it came out in 2005. I recall it. But then I forgot that it existed, and I zipped it into a pouch, and I placed it away with all of my childhood toys or whatever. And then I watched it again for the podcast, and I really liked it.
Good.
And
me too.
I want to tell you why I liked it so much, and I feel like other people in the world might feel this way, and I want to know if you've ever experienced this, and if I'm just speaking from my own experience, but I feel like, man, like, dude, like that thing when you come back to your hometown after being away for a long time, and that hit so hard for me in a good, super good, really wild way. Hey folks, hey people out there, if you're the kind of person who used to live in a place but then decided that place isn't the place you want to live anymore, and you live in a different place but you have to come back for some reason, like a high school reunion or something, it's weird to go back to your parents' house and see your old friends at the corner bar where they're all hanging out, huh? It's nice, but it's weird. And I like it.
And you're going back and you're Ryan Reynolds.
What if you were Ryan Reynolds, not just your own schlumpy schlump, which is what I am, Imagine coming back and being like, hey, everybody, look at me now. I'm Ryan Reynolds.
I'm one of the most gorgeous men to have ever existed.
I am a chiseled god of humanity, and you're all a bunch of towny pieces of Play-Doh formed into
That
human
bit
form.
where so he comes back to the town, which is
somewhere in New Jersey.
And he walks into the bar.
Yep.
Like the local bar.
Yeah.
I can't remember why. I think he's just there with he's there with Samantha James.
He was back. Back, and he decided, I guess I'm back near my parents' house. Let's go to my parents' house. Let's go to the corner. He's looking for his friend. He's looking for what's her name.
And they think, but aren't they there for food or something? Like, there's some pretense as to why they're there.
Oh, he said, I need to drink now. Let's go drink.
Yes, and he runs into some old friends.
Yeah.
And then there's a moment where we realize that Jamie's there too.
Yeah.
And she's behind the bar, and it cuts to her, and she sees him, and she's like, "Oh my God," and hides behind the bar, and he's like, "Jamie?" And like comes over to her. It's such a good moment because it's just like, just imagine.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
But like, it's really, I mean, man, like, it's so good. It taps into that thing. Hey, life has changed. It's been a decade. But there's some things that you still remember. There's some things that you still think about. He obviously still thinks about Jamie, right?
Mm.
And, I mean, it's nice that he's catching up with his old friends that he hasn't seen in a while. But I think that there are people in the world who will see this movie and they will feel the same way. I felt the same way. I mean, do you ever have that thing where you like go back and like feel awkwardly excited about seeing people you haven't seen in a decade because you moved away or changed your life or whatever?
No.
No, dude.
No, I mean, I live fairly close to
the place that you grew up.
The place I grew up. As we've talked about before, I grew up. Well, I grew up in a big city, so it's just not the same. I'm not a small town girl. I think like the experience of going back and it's all the old people all in one place. Like that's just not. It's not a thing for me. And I people in the UK, I guess, like you just kind of, it's just not the same. You move all over the place. People move, I think, way more. So yeah.
When I went home for my 20-year high school reunion, I had the exact same experience with two key differences. Numero one, I'm not a sexy, successful record guy, and I'm not Ryan Reynolds. And two, I wasn't being accompanied by a crazy famous singer lady. I was by myself and I'm a regular person, but I still did see the same things happen. You know that thing where you go to the corner bar and you do see the people that you went to high school with and it's been 20 years and everything's weird and they're still wearing their high school football jackets? I've been in that bar. I've done that thing. It was awesome and weird,
Yeah, I guess I don't really like mythologize my past very much.
Oh, you should.
Also
it's really fun.
Well, because like I grew up in the age of social media, and so all of these people, I know what they're up to, and there's no sense of that was then and this is now. It's just continuous. I guess I'm also just younger than you. Maybe I'll feel different when I'm older, but
you will feel different when you're older. Right?
Worse.
Because your bones will hurt more and you won't be able to get out of bed as quickly. And then you'll miss people from high school, but you won't remember their names because it's been 25 years.
Yeah. Can I tell you my story of this movie?
Please do.
So I think I've mentioned before Friday Film Club when I was at school.
Oh, yeah.
Friday Film Club. This was a Friday Film Club movie. When I first saw this film, probably around, I want to say maybe like 2007, 8-ish.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. The opening scene, which again, fat phobia, bad. We don't like that. We don't like laughing at people in bigger bodies. It's not funny. It's not useful. It's not relevant. It's not good. I think it's funny because of Ryan Reynolds' performance.
Look at his face.
I think it would be funny if he wasn't wearing a fat suit.
He's so expressive.
It's very expressive. It's just really funny. And I thought that was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. I now, like I said,
yeah, it's bad.
I'm here in a perspective where I understand why it's bad, and I know that there are things about this movie that are bad, but I do want to give it a pass because I love it.
Yeah.
I thought it was the funniest thing I've ever seen. I quoted this movie constantly when I was younger.
That's awesome.
I've seen it quite a lot of times since, and each time I watch it, I love it. I love loads of things about it. I get a very nice homely sense of nostalgia through watching it, just because, not for anything specific, just through other times I've watched this film.
Yep.
I think it's very funny. I think it's a very funny premise. I think it was very topical for the time. Like, I know the friend zone was something that's talked about a lot. Again, I mean, I don't need to go into why I think friend zone as a term is problematic, because I think I've said that before on the podcast, but it is a problematic term. But whatever, don't care. It has a pass. Here are some of my favorite moments from this movie.
Great.
Number one, my all-time favorite moment from this movie. Chris Brander is on the phone with Jamie, and he's talking to her, and he's asking her out for dinner. His brother picks up the phone and is listening into the conversation and is making noises and comments.
Right.
And Chris and his brother Mike have a very volatile, violent relationship, but it's very funny violent. Like, they're just excessively violent with each other. Like
brothers are, in my experience. And
throughout this phone call, you know that Mike is pushing it, and Chris is like, you know, hitting him and stuff. And then basically Mike locks himself in a bathroom, and Chris is talking to Jamie whilst Mike is making these noises, and then Chris hangs up the phone very calmly and then suddenly kicks down the door, and Mike just goes, "Mom!" And that is one of my favorite moments in a film ever. I think it's
great.
So funny.
It's great.
I love it. So I think that's very funny. I really like the bit where just after they've gone ice skating, and Chris has very specifically gotten really good at ice skating, and wants to show off how good he is at ice skating because he used to be bad at it, and he's like, "I'm good now, I promise I'm good now."
Right.
But he doesn't have his skates, so he has to use rentals. And he ends up then falling over, and he injures himself. He has to be put in a stretcher, and there's this moment where the stretcher slides down a slope and flies into the air.
Fantastic.
And he lands face down.
It's great.
Hilarious.
Fantastic.
Absolutely hilarious.
When his face is covered in blood. It's bad.
Yes, it's so good. So I love that. I love every time they're in he hires this really, really expensive car to try and impress Jamie.
Right.
And then he lets his brother drive it around and drive Samantha James around because he's trying to get rid of her.
Right.
And she's hilarious. And the bit where she has the toothpaste, and the bit where she's in the mall and she's trying to sing.
It's great.
It's just really funny.
It's great.
And it's still funny.
It's funny.
I just love it.
Look, it's funny. It's a great premise. Here's what was it like in high school. We all, look, maybe not all of us, but and I understand the term friend zone is problematic, but many of us have been there, where we've been friends with somebody that we didn't want to be friends with, but we wanted to be more than friends, but we were just friends, right? It was so relatable, I think, the first half. And even remember when the dude comes up and the other guy who likes Jamie, who's all shy, and he plays guitar and stuff, he's like, "I want to be a famous guitar player."
Dusty.
And he's Dusty, right? And then in the future, he's like a sick, awesome guitar player.
Yes, and you think he's a really nice guy for a long time.
Yeah,
and then it turns out he's just pretending.
It's great.
Funny.
It's great.
So funny.
Also, it was nice because that's that guy from American Pie.
Yeah,
it was great.
Yeah,
It's great.
I just love it. I think it's a great Christmas movie.
Funny.
I think it's very funny. Yeah,
I feel like it's slapsticky and silly enough to just be fun, but also really relatable for a lot of people from from the characters, that it's quite endearing. I think that it's a wonderful love story in a way, because you start off feeling really bad or for Ryan Reynolds' character, right? Like, oh, like, you love Jamie, but she doesn't get it or whatever. But then flash forward, and he's kind of a jerk a little bit, and then he has to grow and change. So you're on the side of her, and then at the end, you're on both of their sides, and then they love each other. This is a great. We've had Christmas dinner. We're all having some port. Let's throw on a fun movie that's not too intense, but is relatable and sweet and funny. Just Friends for the win.
I also like. I mean, I don't often like cringe humor.
But it was the right side. It was the right side of cringe.
Sets my teeth on edge.
Yeah.
It's the right side of cringe, and I think it's because it's handled with such confidence, and also, like, as you pointed out, you are really rooting for these characters.
Totally.
Like, I think it's one of those great rom-coms, and obviously we know the 2000s was the height of the rom-coms. Really, it's one of those great rom-coms where they're not together because they're both just being idiots.
No.
And that's always so fun because it's like there's no real reason why they're not together. Yeah. They're just both being idiots.
Yes.
And once they both get over themselves and be honest with each other, then it'll all be fine. And it is fine. So I really like that. I really like that there isn't any... That I feel like right from the start, you feel very reassured that it's going to work out.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. There's no doubt.
And I think... Even for me as the kind of, super sensitive snowflake feminism police, there are so many films where I see a relationship where I'm kind of going, but he's still a bit of a douchebag and she deserves better. But this one, I just get it, and I'm always rooting for them.
Because Ryan Reynolds is so damn charming.
I know, I just love him.
Also, I just realized why I like this movie, because it's a movie from the 2000s, but it starts out set in the 90s. So it's like a movie from the 90s and the 2000s. And I
1995.
Right? Really,
it's almost like somebody picked it because of that reason for us to talk about on this podcast.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well done. But like, that thing where it's like that thing where they're in the future and they see the jock who was cool and now he's like, not cool anymore. I really liked that little moment of like, see what happens after 10 years. High school. We have watched a lot of movies about high school, right? And what we've learned is high school is so important when you're in high school. But we rarely see the reality, which is high school doesn't matter, dude. Right? Wait 10 years. The people who are cool are going to be asking you for $5 at the local bar and they're still wearing their high school football jacket. Like, just wait it out. Everything's going to be okay.
Yeah. I feel like I'm a 20-year reunion kind of winner.
Yes. Me too, actually.
In high school, didn't hit it. Wasn't quite there. 10 years, still not quite. 20 years, everyone's going to be like, wow, look at her. She's doing amazing.
Peak Emma.
Yeah.
Peak Emma coming at you.
Coming at you. It's just a long way away, but she's there somewhere. I feel like every time we've done a reunion movie, we've really liked it.
We like reunion movies.
Is that fair to say?
We liked Romy and Michelle. This is high school
reunion.
We
liked what's the one with John Cusack in it?
Grosse Point Blank.
Grosse Point Blank. That's a reunion movie, isn't it?
We loved that. 10 years! That guy, right? Yeah, that was good. Was there another reunion movie that we watched, or was this? What's that? That's three of them.
Probably. We've seen so many movies now. It's really hard to remember.
Three of them. I mean, I don't remember anymore. Flashback. It's lovely. It was the 90s, the 2000s. It's all good. Ryan Reynolds. Yippee-ki-yay, Santa Claus.
Yeah. I also love the mum in this.
She's great.
What's her name? Let's get her name because I don't want to.
Mrs. Reynolds.
Julie Haggerty. She is, and she's obviously forever the woman in Airplane, Elaine from Airplane, and is in, I think, one of my favorite scenes ever, which is when she's on the phone and the guy who plays the pilot is like, I've got to concentrate. And then he's like sweating and it's like water dripping down and she's like in the background. I love it. Julie Haggerty also in Marriage Story, and it's really weird because when she's in Marriage Story, it's quite like a serious character. And you know when you have actors that you know as a silly, as a silly person,
as a silly. That's what
and
they're
then
called. And then
as
they're
a silly,
and
then they're a serious.
No, I don't like that. It's like when I first watched Punch Drunk Love with Adam Sandler. I was like, "You're a silly.
You're a silly. What are you doing?"
Hey, Bill Murray in Lost in Translation. You're a silly. What are you doing here? Right? What are you doing here?
And I feel like when somebody's really a movie star is when they can be a silly and a serious. And I feel like that's Mr. Ryan Reynolds.
I agree.
He can do both.
He can do anything.
In one movie, he can do this, he can do that.
Hey, how come Ryan Reynolds isn't in the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Because he's in the DC.
Oh, because he's Deadpool. Because he's Deadpool. So I was about to say, like, how come he's not a superhero? And you're like, he's Deadpool.
Yeah, he is. He is. No, Deadpool is in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So
is it?
Yeah.
Do they ever do a crossover? Does he ever hang out with Iron Man or whatever?
So Deadpool is... Crikey. Okay. So you know how Spider-Man is Sony?
Yes.
So that's why Tom Holland's Spider-Man can only appear in some crossovers.
Uh-huh.
Because some Marvel properties are owned by other studios. So Fantastic Four and X-Men aren't currently owned by...
Wait a minute.
I want to say Marvel Productions or whatever.
Isn't it all fine now because that Spider-Man, when they all the Spider-Mans were in the same place, they're pointing at each other going like, dang, we're all different types of Spider-Mans, right?
There's a thing here about contracts, and you may remember from the seminal TV show Arrested Development series 5, right, where you have Brie whatever.
Yeah,
that's not it.
Nope, that's different. Yeah.
And
a story about a family.
Her storyline is that she played
Brie Larson.
She played Mrs. Fantastic or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
In the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
And they make a joke about how they had to make that film for licensing reasons. And that joke is based on the fact that I'm pretty sure it's Sony owns Fantastic Four, the IP Fantastic Four.
Right.
And they have to make a movie every few years in order to keep it as intellectual property. Because after a certain amount of time, they don't make a movie. It will default back to Marvel, so Marvel will get it back again.
Right.
Spider-Man counts as part of that, which is why... And so when Spider-Man appears in MCU films, the character is on loan from Sony. So they are paying huge amounts of money to lease this character so they can have them in the movie. So that's why Spider-Man Far From Home with All the Spider-Men was... such a big deal, is because people didn't think that was going to happen. And there were also X-Men characters. Spoiler alert, sorry. There are also X-Men characters that appear in that film. So, so Deadpool is in the same universe as Venom.
Right.
Who has also appeared in the same universe as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So he is a Marvel character. He is based on a character from Marvel Comics, but he won't appear in the MCU because he is part of a different cinematic universe.
That's silly. You know what? People need to just calm down and make movies that people want to see. Put all the good stuff into one place. You know what I mean? Yeah. Hey, I just heard that Winnie the Pooh is no longer under license or whatever, so you can make a Winnie the Pooh movie if you want. How about Winnie the Pooh and Tigger team up with Deadpool and the people from Wakanda and they Black Panther, and they just all do a thing, and they all go to space. Winnie the Pooh.
Oh! My knowledge is out of date.
Everybody's fine. Everything's fine now.
20th Century Fox was purchased by Disney, the Disney Corporation, which also owns Marvel Studios. That's what I was looking for. Marvel Studios.
Yes. They own it all now.
When they bought it, the film rights to Deadpool were returned to Marvel Studios alongside the X-Men and the Fantastic Four. So Deadpool 3, a third film coming out November 8th, 2024, will integrate the character into the Marvel Cinematic Universe as the first film in Phase 6 of the MCU. Deadpool MCU is happening.
And I cannot wait for that to happen because you know what I was saying just the other day? Gosh darn it, we need more Marvel movies, huh?
We do. Do you know what? I think about this every day. What's going on with those dang Marvel characters is what I think. I haven't heard from them in a while.
Right? And also, where's that guy that snaps and people disappear? When are they going to reappear?
What happened to him?
Hey, by the way, just between you and me, when he snapped and people disappeared, are they all dead forever? Or do they come back?
No, because they come back.
When do they come back?
What?
I can't remember.
I thought you'd seen them all.
I have. Did they all come back?
Okay. So, have you seen the Avengers Endgame film?
But not everybody came back, right?
You know what happened to the man? Sorry, spoilers for Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
No. You know the man made of the metal man.
The Iron Man. Yeah.
You know what happened to him?
He died, and everybody came to his funeral, including all these weird people.
And do you remember how he died?
I think he was punched really hard by another guy. He was punched so hard that
he got punched into another dimension, and that's why he doesn't exist. He got punched into the Sony Cinematic Universe.
He got punched. They got punched so hard. He got punched out of the Marvel Cinematic.
He got punched out of the licensing contract owned by Disney.
And Spider-Man was there.
He wears, and Spider-Man's there.
And he goes,
wow,
don't get punched. Rick.
Right. I don't know why Spider-Man. I don't know why Tom Holland and Morty from Rick and Morty.
Oh, jeez, Iron Man, you got punched out of the MCU. Oh, no, jeez. Pepper Potts is going to be so sad.
He puts the glove on and clicks the fingers so everyone comes back. That's the thing, and then he dies because of the power.
Oh no, I remember. Yeah, he was on a planet, and he does the thing, and
he's on a planet. He has a big glove. He clicks his fingers. He dies.
Does he give him the finger?
Gwyneth Paltrow is super sad about it.
Pepper Potts.
And then no.
In Gwyneth Paltrow.
No. Yes, normally, but in that moment, it's
actual Gwyneth Paltrow.
In universe, it's actual Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh, no.
Pepper Potts is also there.
What?
She's somewhere else. Yeah, it's Gwyneth Paltrow, and she's like, "Damn it! I thought I was just about to make you a shareholder in Goop."
I hate this. And she has bad smelling candles. Anyway,
that smell like her vagina.
That's what I've heard.
He clicks the fingers with the glove on. He clicks the fingers with the glove on.
Snap.
That's what brings everyone back.
Every
5 years, and then. Yeah,
all the people and then some people are younger. Remember in Spider-Man when some of the people were younger and some of the people were older and they were not friends?
And there's oh my God, I can't even remember what it is. Somebody wakes up in the hospital and they're like, I'm meant to have surgery, and it's like, yeah, that was 5 years ago.
Would you rather be the person who was around for the last 5 years or a person who was snapped out and snapped back in?
Snap me the F out.
Snap me out, snap me in. That's better, right?
Get rid of me right now, please.
Where have you been? I don't know. I'm still young, though, old man.
I want to be,
Snap me out.
Here's right.
Right? Time traveler.
I don't think it would be nice losing 50% of the people that I know.
Yeah, but they all came back.
But
they got snapped back.
Let me tell you this. Short queues at the supermarket.
Yeah, because
this Thanos guy.
You're advocating genocide, okay?
No.
That's what you're doing.
No.
You're advocating. Oh, there's less queues at them. Yeah, because they all got snapped out of existence.
I want to talk about the logic.
Yeah.
He says.
Yeah.
The worst thing that could have happened to this planet is humanity, which is true.
It's true. People are bad.
So
we invented plastic.
to help the planet,
get rid of a bunch of people.
The most efficient way to do that, is indiscriminately pick a random selection of 50% of the population and just blink them out of existence. No pain, just gone.
Yeah, there's some problems with that.
It's purely from a logic perspective.
Well, the crops were great after the Black Plague. There was a lot more fields, a lot less people. Do you know what you're really coming around? I'm coming around to what you're thinking of. You know what?
I'm just annoyed, not to make this about politics, but I'm just angry because today I read an article written by a conservative politician who was talking about how people aren't having as many babies anymore.
Oh, really?
And the population, the amount of babies is something like it's 1.8 to every person instead of 2.2, right? So instead of having 2.2 kids, people are having 1.8 kids.
Hey, for the record, I don't know anybody who has 2.2 kids, okay?
I know, and 1.8 is kind of sad, isn't it? So this politician was saying the way that we need to fix this is we need to make a bunch of TikTok videos explaining to women that their fertility decreases over time. Because the reason that people aren't having babies is because women don't understand that their fertility decreases over time.
For real?
You know, of course not.
No,
everybody knows that.
People understand. Listen.
Of course people know that.
You're getting...
Not because lack of affordable housing, lack of affordable childcare, mental health crisis, all of that kind of thing. It's because women don't know that the other is going to be...
I didn't know that I was getting... You wake up and smell the coffee, you know.
So I'm just mad about that. I felt that I don't want to see a TikTok about this.
Yeah, but
I felt very annoyed about that.
Yeah, but on the other hand, you're advocating Thanos. Like, I mean, dude, no, I don't want to be that guy because it's Christmas, but like, you're one step away from a Hitler situation, right?
Indiscriminate though.
Hitler did discriminate. Super famously.
Should we? I feel like maybe we can't talk about that and get onto Apple Podcasts. I think we maybe can't mention his name. We might need to cut that.
All right, I'll bleep it, and then we'll just know we're talking about that German guy who had strong opinions but was a bad guy.
And a mustache. I'm obviously joking.
Obviously, we're joking.
Please don't cancel me.
Don't cancel me. You know what I want? More people. That's what I want.
I want
all of us to join in.
Christmas tree.
I want us
presents,
to all join together.
treats,
I want us to
sugar,
all join hands.
Cookies.
And we do that thing where every human in the whole world holds hands. Around the world, don't get me started about the oceans. We're using lots of boats. And we're all holding hands.
No,
and
sorry.
we all say Merry Christmas in every language. What?
What we're doing is the thing from the Pirates of the Caribbean where you upturn a boat and then you walk on the bottom of the sea.
Oh, I believe you're referring to parlay. Yes, I'm familiar with that concept.
Don't talk to me about bloody parlay.
Listen, the thing is if you're holding the coin, you look like a regular person. But if you're not, you are a skeleton. I've seen Pirates of the Caribbean. I know what's up.
They are more like guidelines than actual rules.
Yeah. Hey, listen, we have guidelines and rules about this podcast. Rule number 1,
You're
never...
like ghost stories, Miss Turner.
Yep.
You're in one.
Rule number 2, don't talk about the podcast. And rule number 3, tell your friends about the podcast. But rule number 4, never talk about the podcast. And rule number 5, we're pirates. Rule number 6, let's go do a twist in a sec. What do you think? That's the rule.
Baby. Wait, no. Twist and shout. Twist and shout.
Shake it to the come on, baby now.
Come on, baby.
Gotta work it all out. Ding, dee, 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 ding, 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 dang, da, da, ding, ding.
Hey, Anders.
Hey.
How's it going?
Super good, as always.
I have a question for you. When was the last time you rated a podcast?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I've never done it. Is it hard?
No, it's super easy. You should totally give it a go. In fact, why not do it right now? Just head on over to Apple Podcasts and give us a rating because it's super easy and super fun. Well, it's not. I don't know if it's fun. It's if you could, that would be great. Thanks.
I'm doing it right now.
Whoa!
Hey, leaving reviews is the most fun thing ever.
See,
forget roller coasters. Review our podcast.
And I swear by the moon and the stars in the sky,
I'll be there.
I'll be there. For better or worse,
till death do us part. I love you with every piece of my heart. And I swear.
One of my recent favorite Christmas songs.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I've forgotten how it goes. It's by East 15 or something like that.
No, that's not a band. You made that up.
Is that what it is?
I don't know.
I need to ask my partner because he loves this song. He was like, oh yeah, here we go, I got it. Baby, if you got to go away, don't think I can take the pain. Won't you stay another.
That's not a song, but I really like it. Well done.
This. It's East 17. I was 2 off. How are we going to twist this movie?
Well, I've been thinking a lot about this movie over the last couple of days, all right, since I watched it. And I want to... I have a prop.
You have a prop?
I have a prop.
We brought props this week?
I have a prop. And no, it might be a prop, and I do have a proposition.
Is it a Christmas hat?
No, but it is a Christmas present.
A Christmas present?
Okay. I want to pitch to you. This isn't a movie. Okay. And if you were expecting a movie for this twist, well, you're wrong.
When was the last time we did not a movie? Like, I feel like a while ago.
A while. Okay. All right. Think about this. One of the great things about this movie is that you get the opportunity to talk to a person that you haven't seen in 10 years and tell them how you feel. Is it a
telephone call?
It's not a phone. It's better. Okay? What if you could give the gift that is a Christmas gift, and it's a wrapped up box with wrapping paper and a bow. When you open it up, inside is a one-time only portal FaceTime-ish conversation with a person from your past. And it lasts for 5 minutes, and you get to have whatever conversation you want. And the gift giver gets to decide who it is, but the gift receiver gets to have the conversation. For example, Grandma, I got you 5 minutes conversation with your grandpa. Right? And Grandma, who's 90, opens up the box, and she gets to have a one-on-one, face-to-face conversation with her grandpa who died in the 1800s. What do you think about that?
Have you seen the movie The Time Traveler's Wife?
No. I've heard about the book, though.
Oh, you should watch it.
Is it like that?
There's a moment in it which is very similar to that, I would say. I didn't want to spoil it, but...
Don't spoil it.
It's very lovely. It's a very lovely moment in the film.
Hey, what should we get for your brother James for Christmas? Well, I know he's a real history buff. Would you like a conversation with
So it's kind of like the Cameo app, but like
but with people from history. And they open the box, and inside it's like a glowing, smoky screen, and then it's but maybe the people from history are a bit like, oh, not another one of these. Hey, I got you 10 minutes with Abe Lincoln for your birthday, right? And they open it up and they're like, again, this conversation. Yes, I'm Abe Lincoln. How are you?
Not to reference a bit from another podcast while we're doing a bit in this podcast.
Yeah, sure. Hat on a hat.
Hat on a hat on a hat. In one of my all-time favorite podcasts, My Brother and Me.
Bam. I've heard of that.
The McElroy brothers.
Yeah, sure. I'm your middleest brother. Podcasts, right?
Yeah. They have a question. It's an advice show, and they do a question which is, if there was a horn and you could blow the horn and bring back all the founding fathers, would now be the time to blow it? And when they're discussing this question,
right,
should we blow a horn to bring back all the founding fathers to fix America? one of them makes and if you are interested in this bit, you can find an animated version of this on YouTube. So if you type in my brother and me, Founding Fathers Horn, you will find the YouTube bit and you can watch it. It's very funny. But they talk about the fact that by the time you manage to, the amount of time it would take to catch up the Founding Fathers to now,
obviously,
in order
for them to have,
in order for them to have enough knowledge to then fix America. If you only had 24 hours with them, there's not enough time, right?
Sure.
And it's really funny because it's a bit from a podcast episode from, I think, several years ago.
Right.
I reference it as if it's an academic citation. When, like, I think about this bit a lot, and I talk about it a lot because sometimes people will say things like, "Oh, imagine if you could bring back imagine if we could do this. Imagine if so and so was still here today." And I'm like, in the podcast, my brother and me, they talk about this question. It's like, it's the Founding Fathers Horn dichotomy. You can't have people from the past come back to now because come forward to now because there's too much to explain. You're speaking to your great grandmother 400 years ago or whatever. It's probably more like 200.
Whatever.
And in the background, she sees a bus.
And she goes,
she's like, "What the hell is that?"
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
I get it. Look, this is why we have parameters. First of all, we don't need their advice. We just want to talk to them for 10 minutes, and that's all you get. Second of all, everybody knows if you give the time talk box to a relative for Christmas, you have to do it in an empty room. And take off your smart tech. Do not show them your phone, right? Do you want them to die again? Because they will if they see your iPhone.
What about the grandfather paradox?
Oh, I am my own grandpa?
When you decide to kill your grandfather.
No.
So you could never have been born to have killed your grandfather.
You only see them for a brief moment in a FaceTime.
But is it actual them from when they were alive?
Yes.
So when they were alive, they had that conversation in the past?
Yes.
Or is it like a specter
that's
that's been summoned from hell
happened.
or wherever?
But at the end, you make them sign a data waiver that means that they can never talk about it. It's foolproof.
Can I give you my initial reaction to this idea?
Is it positive?
If it's not positive, do I have to keep it to myself?
Do you want to talk to anybody from history and also people you're related to, maybe?
Do you want to hear my joke?
Yes.
I just don't feel like this is festive enough. How can we make this more festive?
Fine.
What's
All right. You can talk to anybody from history, but it's on Christmas Day.
At Christmas.
Every time. Right? And sometimes they're really annoyed. And it's like, "Oh my God, you're my great Uncle Joe." And you're like, "This is the
I'm cooking.
worst.
It's 4 a.m. and I'm trying to cook a
the
turkey.
Worst time for you to call. Grandpa, I miss you so much. Hey, son, it's nice to see you, but this is a bit awkward because your grandma and I are trying to carve the turkey." If you know what I mean. And then you go, "I don't know what you mean, Grandpa, but I feel uncomfortable about this." What I'm saying is it's an inconvenience for most people, but it's festive inconvenience.
And what's more Christmassy than that?
That's what Christmas is all about.
It's an incredibly inconvenient time.
I don't really want to see you, but it's Christmas, so here you are in my house. My friend.
I feel like maybe this says a lot about me, but if it was, I could do that if I could do it with a fictional character, I think
you can talk to Ebenezer Scrooge if you want. In fact, I'm
not
sorry.
Him.
No. You have to talk to Ebenezer Scrooge first.
So, okay, so this
to activate your portal gun.
This isn't so much a pitch for a product that we're trying to sell.
Well,
this is a legal obligation.
Well, it can be
every
both.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Everyone on the planet who celebrates the holiday
has to talk
is posted a small
box.
round
box,
bright red disc.
Ooh, I like that. Like a telescope.
And I was thinking more like a CD, but like a kind of chunky CD.
I'm a young person. What's a CD?
A compact disc.
Oh, yeah, one of them. I remember them from most of my life.
And you put it in a player so you have the player, but it's a new disc every year because obviously, right?
It's like fine.
You put it in the player.
It's like Columbia House for Christmas.
And there's Ebenezer Scrooge, and you have to talk to him.
Hey Ebenezer, how's it going? Nice
What's
to see you again.
been going on?
Yeah. Oh,
do you remember the message of Christmas?
Christmas is terrible. Wow.
Wait. Is it post or pre-ghost? Pre-for ghost
annoyingly,
discussion,
it's the day before the big change. Right? You're always talking to pre-change Ebenezer.
Pre-revelation, pre-Christmas revelation.
So angry, and the worst part is, he's about to change his whole deal and about to be a really good dude, right?
And you keep hinting at it, and then the first time it happens, you're like, okay, so we're talking. I am currently talking to pre-ghost Ebenezer.
What are you doing tomorrow,
and then next
Abby?
year,
right? Yeah.
Next year, you're thinking maybe it's happened now, but no, he's reset.
Nope. We just reset. Hey, what are you up to? Oh, a bit of there's more of gravy than of grave. Does that ring a bell? Nothing. Cool, nice. What are you doing tomorrow? Working, probably. I suspect. Oh, not giving the team the day off because it's Christmas. Got a new red scarf. No.
This is an island in the sun.
Oi.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but here's the thing. Once you have that awkward conversation with Ebenezer Scrooge, which is a tradition for Christmas for you now, then you can have a conversation.
By tradition, you mean obligation. By tradition, you mean obligation.
Legally. Yeah, they can be both things. Tradition can be legally binding, but after you get that out of the way, you know the phrase, right? If the worst thing you have to do today is eat a frog, then do it the first thing in the morning, right? Eat that frog. Eat that frog. Ebenezer conversation, eat that frog. And then after...
Are you talking about Kermit?
Well... look over there. My son's used as a grudge.
Hey, what's the meal we're having for Christmas, Ebenezer? What's that big thing on the plate in the middle? Wait a minute, is that my son, Tiny Tim?
You're not.
What happened to Tiny Tim? Oh, Ebenezer. Wait, I'm getting closer. Ebenezer, I'm not so sure about that.
My wife, Miss Biggie, has a lot of things to say about this. You're terrible! Screw you, Scrooge, you dick! My kids are hungry!
Hey dear, this is actually a kid's movie. I don't think you could see that.
Oh, your boss is the worst guy in the world! And also, I wouldn't say the full word, but, and it's implied. And she gives the two hooves, Two hooves.
Two hooves.
It's like the finger. It's like the finger.
When it's a pig, it's a trotter.
Two trotters. She gives the two trotters, That's how you know she's really upset, dude. Oh, man. Also, a pig and a frog are married. That's fine, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Are we fine with that?
I think I don't know who I'd want to talk to. Maybe Betty White again. I think I said Betty White before, but yeah, maybe Betty White. I'd be like, "Hey, what's up?"
Hey.
Or like I don't know. I feel like loads of conversations with historical figures would just be really depressing.
You know what I would do? I'd hit rando. Just rando.
Oh, shuffle.
Just shuffle. Give me
Surprise
some person.
Me. You'd hit surprise me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I would hit Google Surprise Me, and I would talk to anybody. Hey, what up, bro? Where are you from? 1742. Sick.
What was that like? Sucked. No toilet.
Not great. And I go,
I have every disease.
Yeah, that sucks. I got an iPod, and I'm drinking a beer. Bye. Right?
An iPod?
I don't know. I panicked, and I chose the latest technology I could think of.
I sensed the panic.
I was born in the 80s. I'm so tired.
It is a shame. You were so close. It is a shame that you picked a very recently discontinued piece of technology with an iPod. But I get the yeah.
I still do have an iPod, though. I still do have an iPod.
But you can kind of do something similar now with chat roulette, where you can talk to somebody random in the world.
Not with dead people.
But why do they have to be dead?
Because
what about the living?
I don't care about the living. I care about people from the past.
Well, quote everyone. Did we hear that? 2022, Christmas 2022,
I don't care about the living.
I don't care about the living.
They're boring.
You were saying to me that I was the terrible Thanos villain, and now here you are.
Well, I want to ask them what their experience was in life, so I can learn from them, so I can be a better person. Isn't that what Christmas is all about? I don't want to talk to regular people. Regular people are all living the same timeline as me. They're all scared and worried, and they don't know what's going on.
How is a person from 1742 going to advise you on how to worry less about Brexit?
I feel like what they're going to say is, I don't know what Brexit is, but it sounds like you need to simplify, my dude. You know, I live in the shed, and all I have is a pot and a fire and a spoon.
Yeah.
You know,
stop staring at your phones.
Stop
sheeple.
looking at your phone, sheeple. Exactly.
Get back out in the fields.
Yeah, and then he'll start ranting about Mark Zuckerberg, and then I'll just know that he's just a regular living.
And then you
person.
realize it's a paid actor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you can't talk to dead people. You just can't. You can't go back in time. What you can do is go back in time and watch old movies from the 2000s, like Just Friends. And what we can do is we can watch them, talk about them, and then if you want, we could rate them. Should we rate this movie?
Let's do it.
I'd like to know on a scale of 1 to 5, foil-covered pieces of fancy tuna in a microwave, poorly set, that then ultimately catches the airplane on fire, so you have to crash land in New Jersey. How many pieces of tuna would you give the 2005 movie Just Friends?
I did say it had a special pass. However, the sacrifice that you make when you get the special problematic pass is that you do have to knock off at least half a point. Yeah. So it's a 4.5 because I do love it.
Still
and it
strong.
is great.
Yeah.
It's a naughty film.
It's naughty from the naughties.
It's a naughties film. And I'm sorry. Cancel me if you like. It's funny and I like it, and I want to give it 4.5.
Nice.
And it's Christmas, so I deserve it.
It's Christmas. You deserve
I've been injusticed and furious all year, and this is a break for me.
Yeah, you've been such a good person too, so you deserve a nasty, naughty movie.
I mean, I did say I agree with Thanos.
Yeah, I brought up Hitler though. Who's the real monster in this conversation?
We're both monsters. What's your rating?
I'd probably get a 4. Like, it's really fun, and I would watch it again. I really like Ryan Reynolds. I would watch him sing any song or read any book, including the phone book. And whilst, there's some bad stuff about, like, body image and stuff, I will say I thought he was sexy back then. I thought he was sexy in the now times. You know? He's a wonderful, charismatic human. So I like it.
Yeah.
We'll give it a 4.
And he seems like a genuinely nice guy.
Oh, for sure. For sure. He's also Canadian, and I feel like Canada people are just better. And I swear. Yeah. You know? Yeah. They're nicer. They're sweeter. They're like Americans.
Have you seen Free Guy?
Nah. Is it good?
You should watch it. You should, if you're getting on the Reynolds
What
hype,
would you...
Next stop, Free Guy.
If you were walking down a dark alley and you were a little bit nervous, and wondering, oh no, why am I going this way? I should have stuck to the main street. But then you turn around and there's Ryan Reynolds. What would you say? Genuine question. If you ran into Ryan Reynolds in a dark alley, what would you say? What would your starting conversation be?
I'm trying to think of something funny to say, but I really feel like I would genuinely just turn around and go, hi, Ryan Reynolds. You're a really cool actor and you seem like a really nice guy and I appreciate your work, sir. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
I know. I'm sorry. It's not funny, but that is what I would say because, I've met quite a few famos in my life. Like I had a point in my time when I was able to go to film premieres all the time, which I used to do as a hobby, by the way. And so I met quite a few good famos, and whenever it was someone where I'm like, I appreciate your work. Like I met Stanley friggin' Tucci once, and I was like,
what?
Dude. Yeah, I was like, dude. The Devil Wears Prada rocks my entire world and you did a great job. Thank you. And he was like, you're welcome. And then we moved on, because I'm just like, I don't need you to acknowledge me as a human. I don't need you to validate me. I don't need you to remember me. I just want to say thanks for the thing that you did.
Yeah.
I don't even ask for a selfie. I don't even ask for a selfie when I meet a famo.
It's like when I met the guy who plays Jon Snow in the Game of Thrones. What's his name?
Mr. Harrington.
And I was with some people from work at a cafe, and they were all like, "Oh my gosh, it's Kit Harington, it's Kit Harington. What do we do? We can't say anything." And then we were walking by, and I walked up to him, and I was like, "Kit Harington, dude, Game of Thrones is great." And then he said, "Thank you very much," and I said, "Bye," and I walked away. And everyone was so like,
just
"Whoa, how did you do that? What did you do? Why did you do that?" And I was like, "He's a guy. He's a person. I like his TV show." I said, "I like your TV show."
Just give him a genuine,
right?
heartfelt, specific compliment and move on. You know? The audio cut out, but that really felt like a kind of a mic drop moment for me, so I like that a lot. I have some things to say. Before we go.
All right, do it.
Listeners, thank you so much for tuning in for another episode.
Thank you.
We really like talking of meeting famos. Neither of us are famos. However, we really like it when you come and tell us about listening to the podcast. Sometimes it's fun because someone will say something that neither of us remembers saying. And that's fun.
That's the best.
Because obviously we've done a lot now, and we've said things, and people go, "Oh, when you said that thing," and I'm like, "Did I say that?"
I don't know what you're talking about.
But I love it. We also have sometimes people will say to us like that one of our opinions on a film is ridiculous or terrible. I also love that.
Yeah,
I think that's really fun. And I am not super precious about opinions and stuff, so do come and tell me. So please let us know if you've been enjoying the show. We would love to hear from you. We would also love it if you subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts or whatever service it is that you are listening to us on. We would love it if you go and write us a little review, and it's not just to stroke our egos, although trust me, they do need stroking.
Oh yeah.
But it also is really nice for other people to see that and know that they will enjoy our show as well, because we want people to listen to this and have a fun time with us, because that's why we're here. We're here to have fun. Yeah. We're here to talk about movies. We're here to be nostalgic. We're here to obsess over celebrities that we like a lot. And we want other people to do that with us. So if you are enjoying the show, please hit us up with a review. Speak to us on the socials. Send us to a friend. Share us on your story. And look forward to another year coming up, 2023, baby, of Plot Twisters podcast in the noughties. Thank you very much.
I just hope you guys all have a really super fun Christmas or in holiday times. I hope that happens for everybody, and I hope that you've enjoyed this podcast. And I also hope that that last little gift at the back corner, just tucked behind the Christmas tree, that you kind of see and you go, "Ooh, who's that from?" I hope that unmarked glittering box, when you open it up, features the real-life FaceTime call to a distant relative and/or Macaulay Culkin from the movie Home Alone. I hope you get to talk to Kevin McAllister this year on your dang FaceTime present, and I hope you have a wonderful time, and I hope that every wish that you have for Christmas comes true. Do you know why? Because I'm a hopeful person, and so is Emma, and we're really happy that you've been listening to our podcast. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, do all the things, be well, be fun, be kind, be lovely. Goodbye.
We love you. Goodbye. And I swear. The video's just come up on IMDb in front of me. And I'm watching him right now on mute.
Better worse, till death do us part. I love
Get out of my room!
That was me in high school. Get out of my room. and listen to the song comparison. It's Christmas time, burning out the wine. Uncle Jim's got his favourite jumper.